Hello everyone. Today I'm going to create a simple Opc UA server in Python. All of we need such as editor, debugger and other tools to code this program, this application, we, we can find inside these tools inside the PyCharm. PyCharm is a special environment for editing, for debugging and more. The first thing we have to do is to install two libraries, two packages. Particularly here, file, settings. Select your interpreter Python, here in my case this path here, and then check if you have already installed Opc UA and cryptography. If not, press the plus button, search the library here by typing the name, and you can find install package. Okay, so now we create a new Python file in our project, new Python file, and name it as test Opc UA Server. We create our file. First thing to do is to import the Opc UA Server from our package. From Opc UA import server, and then maybe date and time if you want to print something, some information about the time starting. Import datetime. So here I create my server equal to server from our package, and first thing important is the URL. opc.tcp slash, this is the address of my PC here, dot 1.5. This is important, and then port. The server will stay listening on this port. Default is 4840, but sometimes also other number because we can have a problem with the firewall. Second thing is to set this endpoint, because this URL will be a endpoint for a client. When we finish the server, we will create, or we will use a commercial time client, and then we use this endpoint. My server, my object dot set server set endpoint, set endpoint, parameter is URL. This is important. We have to give also name to this server. I don't know, for example, OPC. We will find all of this information in the client later. OPC UA test server. Now we have to create, according with the OPC Foundation, the address space is a big container which inside we can put all of the nodes, information, parameters, what we need, variable, everything. Let me call AS, address space, add space equal to my server. We have to register here namespace of name, this name, our name. Now I want to create, just a moment, Now we have to create a node, simple node, by typing my server dot get object node. In this case, we create a node. Now we can create another container inside this node that call, for example, parameters or param. This is what we will find later in the OPC client. Param equal to node, our node, dot add object. We want to add this param as object, where in this address space, and call it as parameters. Okay. Now we are ready to create our variables, our tags inside the server. For example, with prefix t, I want to create text1, for example. This is a variable like param dot add variable. Where in the address space, this is how we want to call this from a client. We want to show this as name, I don't know, text1, and then give the first value, for example, text1. This is the value. Practically, this is our variable added inside the param node in the address space. Name it as text1 with this value. Let me check if it's possible to run. Test. Run here. Just to check if the compilation is okay or not. Okay, we don't have any problem at the moment. With for example, integer, I want to int1, first integer, the same, param dot add variable in the same address space. Let me call it as my integer 1, and give the value, for example, 0. This is important because when Python compile this source code, the interpreter can understand that this is an integer by assigning here the value. Okay, this is normal for Python. And then bool 1. Let me copy this one. My bool 1, the name, bool 1, false. At the moment, if we connect by using a client, we cannot write this variable. If we want to read and write, we have to set property here, for example, text1 dot set writable. So this means that this tag is possible to set. The same for other variable. We want to read, but we want also to set this variable. So in this case we have to give this property. Now we can also use some variable here, I don't know, for make something, but it's not important now. Now we have to start the server. My server dot start, and we want to print also here some information. For example, print server started at, and just a little formatting here. I want to know practically the time when this server start, because we can have more than one server, where here this URI, and I want to print the address, the URL. We can also print the time, for example, print at for example time. I don't know how now is the value here. Date and time dot date and time dot now. This function. Here I have to create an infinite loop, while loop true, while true. Here make something and just a little bit sleep, because it's too fast in this case. Time, I don't know, for example half second. Okay, let me create a variable here. We can create a variable better here as time, for example. I want to create a variable to use for sleep. Variable time, date and time, also here one date and time. I can use also the package. Let me check it's possible to start. We have a problem. Let me check some problem. Maybe I have to import some here. Import time to use here for sleeping. Let me check. Okay, I stop and start again. I have a problem. 924 in module, 24 is here. Okay, now I want to take out this one. Stop again and start. Okay, our server is started here at this URL, waiting, listening on this port, and now we are listening, ready for a client to connect. The next episode, I will show you how to connect by a client. Okay, thank you.